Story Bugs!
Hello and welcome to Storytime. I'm really glad you're here. We are going to read Spike and the Cowboy Band, written and illustrated by John Patience and published by Tailwater Press. And this is part of the series called Fern Hollow, the tales from Fern Hollow. Here we go. Spike Willowbank was on his way to see Sigmund Swamp for his music lesson. Spike played the violin and was looking forward to performing in the Fern Hollow Music Festival later that week. The hedgehog turned a corner in the lane and was surprised by a couple of his friends who were racing down the hill in their billy carts and almost knocked him over. "Hello, Spike," said Patch. "Come and play on the carts with us." "Sorry, I can't," said Spike. "I have to go to my music lesson." "Yuck," said Patch. "Music is boring." "Yes," agreed Monty. "Billy carts are much more fun." Spike wondered if his friends might be right, but he continued on his way to Sigmund's house. "Good morning, Spike," said Sigmund. "Are you looking forward to the music festival?" "Oh, yes, of course," replied Spike, though by now he was not so sure. "Jolly good," said the toad. "Let me hear the piece you've been practicing." Spike began to play, but after a time his concentration was broken by a loud snoring noise. He glanced across at Sigmund and discovered that he had fallen fast asleep. "Oh dear," sighed Spike. "This must be a very boring piece of music if it sends the teacher to sleep." At Trundleberry Manor, the Fern Hollow Brass Band was practicing their contribution to the music festival. "Yes, that was very good," said Lord Trundle when the band had stopped playing. "I think the festival will be a great success. As well as the band, there will be all the other contributions. Mr. Periwinkle will play his flute. There will be the recorder group, and Spike Willowbank will play his violin." "I agree," said Brock Gruffy. "It will be very entertaining, but it would be nice if we could think of something to make it a little different this year." You're right," said Lord Trundle. "Listen, I have an idea." The next day, Spike and his friends were fishing in the River Ferny when Jingle's taxi drew up close by at the Jolly Vole Hotel. They all watched as Jingle opened the car door for his passengers, and they stepped out. They were 4 animals dressed like cowboys. One of them tipped Jingle, and then they all disappeared in the hotel. "Wow," cried Patch. "They look great. I wonder if they are real cowboys." That night, as Spike lay in bed, he heard music drifting across from the Jolly Vole. It was the sort of music that cowboys play. "Of course," said Spike. "They are a cowboy band. That's wonderful." Spike was very excited. He crept out of the house and ran down the lane to the hotel. The music was coming from one of the upstairs rooms. Spike clambered up a tree and peeped in through the window. The band was practicing. They sounded marvelous. The music was very jolly, the sort of thing that would make you want to dance. In fact, Spike began to rock and jiggle around in the tree. That was a mistake, because suddenly the hedgehog lost his balance and fell. Fortunately, his pajamas caught on a branch, and he was left dangling high above the ground. "Help!" cried Spike. "Somebody get me down!" The landlord of the Jolly Vole and the cowboy band quickly came rushing out to see what all the noise was about. "Don't worry, partner," shouted Rip, the band leader. "I'll get you down." Rip at once began to shim up the tree. He climbed out onto the branch on which Spike was caught and pulled him up. Everyone cheered, but the next moment there was a loud cracking sound, and the branch broke, and they both fell down to the ground. Spike was all right. He landed on top of Rip, who broke his fall, but the raccoon himself was not so lucky. He had badly hurt one arm. Dr. Bushy came and put it in a sling. "I'm afraid you won't be able to play the fiddle for a while," he said. "Darn it," said Rip. "Lord Trundle invited us here to play in your music festival. What are we going to do now?" "I can play the violin," said Spike. "Perhaps you could teach me some of your music and I could be in the cowboy band." "Well, I guess we could try it," agreed Rip. The next day was music festival day. Mr. Chips, the carpenter, had built a little bandstand in one of Farmer Bramble's fields. The Fern Hollow Brass Band played their music there all afternoon. Later in the evening came the special event, the barn dance. "And now," cried Lord Trundle, "I give you Spike and the Cowboy Band." Spike had managed to learn the music. Though Rip couldn't play his fiddle, he could still call for the dances, and the Fern Hollow animals had a real hoedown. You can just imagine how impressed Spike's friends were. They certainly never said anything about music being boring ever again. Oh, that looks like a blast. They have special dances called square dances and line dances where they play the country music and somebody tells you what to do on the dancing. It's really, really fun. Thank you guys for joining me again, and I hope to see you for our next story. If you guys enjoyed reading that story, would you please click subscribe down below? We read new stories just like this one every day, and we would love to let you know when there's a new story to listen to.